Good evening, everybody. Breakfast Diesel News live with you at 10:15 p.m., okay? And yes, it is just as the title says, there are now going to be neighborhoods in the next expansion 12.0 Midnight, okay? Also, yes, don't worry about what's behind me. It's just background noise. Pay attention to me, okay? I've got you covered. Now, what is a neighborhood? A neighborhood is a collective of 50 plots of land, each with its own individual house on it that you can go purchase. There are two fully separate zones depending on what faction you're a part of. So the Alliance, they have Founders Point, and the Horde has Razorwind Pass, okay? So each of those zones has 50 different player housing plots on them, relatively equal size. Regardless of what faction you decide to go with, both zones are equipped with every kind of housing plot you might need. They even have different biomes. If you're a bit shy, they have more standoffish plots, secluded from the hubbub of the neighborhood. If you have some friends you want to room with closely, they even have little cul-de-sacs to live in. Anything you might need. So, there's also 3 different kinds of neighborhoods. There is public neighborhoods, which is just kind of what Blizzard puts you in if you're not in a guild or a group of people you want to hang out with. Then there is guild neighborhoods, which is just as it seems. You are in a neighborhood with your guild. Larger guilds will have multiple instances of neighborhoods per guild because, now, mind you, each neighborhood is only 50 people. So the biggest guild you can have, 1,000 people, would have 20 instances to go with your whole guild. Now you have charter neighborhoods, which are just completely private. That gets ran by its own group of people. It's not really much different from a guild neighborhood. You still have administration that decides some of the rules of the neighborhood, who else has admin privileges, who lives in the neighborhood, and you can even get evicted from your house now. You can become homeless in World of Warcraft if you weren't already before. So, not including that, but each individual in the neighborhood gets to decide who goes in their yard/house, can set their own permissions. If you want to live somewhere else, you are allowed to relinquish your house, right? So you can literally get up and sell your house and move somewhere else to a different plot on the same neighborhood or a different neighborhood entirely. It's up to you. You can go wherever you want. There is kind of a cooling off period where you get to take back your decision and move back into the house you were living in. But there's also another one that says, okay, you bought your house, you stayed there for a while, you can't just keep moving around super quick all the time. So it's pretty forgiving, which I think we're all going to appreciate. Now, onto the meat and potatoes of this system, endeavors. Endeavors being neighborhood-wide activities. Yep, all 50 players are kind of forced to participate in this thing. It completely changes the landscape of the neighborhood depending on what endeavor your neighborhood gets put into, as well as neighborhood-wide goals and activities that reward you with 2 different things, but we'll get to that later. So, private and guild-ran neighborhoods get to decide which endeavor they want to go into, whereas public neighborhoods get what they get, and it is kind of up to the server at any given time. These endeavors happen once a month and are kind of like a culture exchange. Different factions and groups will come to your neighborhood, decorate, completely change the landscape, and so on and so forth. The tasks that you will do to aid these endeavors, it's kind of like a neighborhood-wide activity. They range from crafting, gathering, questing, dungeons, raids, and etc. I am really curious if PvP will have any sort of effect on these endeavors. Somehow I doubt it, but I can hope, Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of that. Completing these tasks will give endeavor currency shared across all endeavors, right? So you don't have to spend one this month if you think that whatever endeavor you're in is dumb, right? But it will also give you neighborhood favor, which is used to level up your house. I don't know what that entirely entails, but it is what it is. We'll find out. Endeavor currency is used to buy stuff, decorations specifically, from that endeavor's vendor. So it will go along with the themes and the color schemes and the items themselves, and I'm sure even the lore of that faction that is endeavoring into your neighborhood. And what they're saying, so this is pretty cool, and what they're saying is this isn't going to be abandoned in 12.1 or 12.2 or 13.0. This is going to be a system that is ever present in World of Warcraft going forward, which I'm really excited for. I hope it's awesome. It seems really cool. What I'm really liking is that it's really bringing back that community back to WoW. You're seeing the same people. You have a reputation. You can be loved or hated within your neighborhood. And I really feel like a lot of MMOs now, since they're what do you say? Layer based, right? So So unless you do one specific activity all the time and really pay attention, you often won't see the same players over and over again. But this is kind of not forcing you to, but encouraging you to really build a community. And I really like that. You know, I really like, oh, I made friends with this person. I feel like we're going to really connect with each other again. And I'm quite excited for that, if I'm being honest. The best way I can decide today's news is a bit of an emergency news. I'm trying to get to bed before it's too late so I can wake up early and get back to streaming and back to PvP and back to some 2v2s, back to work, honestly. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're caught up. Have a wonderful night, and yeah, see you tomorrow.